Let's talk about ADEM overview. So if you are new to the ADEM, we will just recap our previous discussion. So if you are new to the ADEM and you want to learn about how to enable ADEM, different use cases, how to set up synthetic test, application tests, we have our webinars recordings available on live community page as we mentioned earlier. Feel free to reach out and watch those recordings. Those will be very helpful for you to understand the EDM, different use cases, how to set up application tests. Let's have a quick recap of EDM overview. The big change or the shift we have seen over the past 24 months is that work is no longer a location. It is an activity. Previously, work used to be a location we all went to as I have to go to work. But now we no longer need to go someplace to perform our duties. We just work. We are now able to perform our activities whenever and wherever we need to. What has driven this combination? What has driven this actually is a combination of two things. One is the application and other is users. So apps are now everywhere. Most enterprises have moved to the model where you no longer consume apps strictly at the data center. These app delivery model with SaaS and cloud, and is now hybrid. The vast majority of the enterprises today utilize some combination of private cloud, public cloud, internet, and SaaS. And this is now the app delivery model. And the users, second thing is users. The majority of the organizations today have adopted a hybrid work model, supporting their partial remote, working out of home office 2 or 3 days a week, or completely remote, or anything in between. While this new work model offers a great deal of flexibility, there is no tie in any more to the traditional model of work being a workplace. So what does all this mean from an IT perspective? So whether the user is working from home, in a coffee shop, or back in the office a few days a week, they also now almost using some shared network application services that IT has no way of monitoring for performance. Let's consider a user who is working from home. Every home is a corporate office now these days. Work from home has redefined the network ownership, boundary, and IT is losing visibility across entire service delivery chain between users and application, like user devices, wireless connection at home office, ISP, and application itself. For example, if we talk about the endpoint, we have all experienced poor Zoom quality or unresponsive web pages because the memory or a CPU is running low on the computer. This is usually because we have too many browsers tabs open, or there are just too many other apps running in the background consuming resources. So how do you get visibility and quickly understand if a user's poor experience with Zoom is caused by what is happening on their device? And if I talk about the Wi-Fi, as a user connects from home, they usually have to connect with other streaming. They have contented with other streaming applications or gaming applications. There are a lot of times where the users have poor Wi-Fi signal strength because they are working from their backyard, from their garage, or far from where the access point is located. And even worse, when they are at a public hotspot like a coffee shop, Wi-Fi interference can lead to the poor performance. And if we talk about LAN and ISP, in addition to these, there could be a network latency with the home local area network or with the ISP modem itself. This could be caused by the user having an old router or modem, or that is connecting to more devices like home security system appliances uh, than it can reasonably handle. So typically, the ISP path from home to the apps has multiple routed hops, and each hop introduces latency. As the congestion adds up, latency at each hop increased and turn affects app experience. Again, the ISP path is something that organizations have zero control over. Now imagine all these users call into the IT and ask help to resolve an app experience problem. And IT today does not have the right monitoring tools to help these users to resolve their problems. And if all of these users calling the IT for help, it would be a nightmare. ADEM, or Autonomous Digital Experience Management, is available for Prisma Access users and remote networks. There you are using both, you can use all together. And it's an add-on license with the Prisma Access. So with the ADEM for users, with our native integration on the endpoints via Global Protect, we are able to provide unique insights into what's happening across the entire service delivery path, from endpoint itself to the Wi-Fi, LAN, and WAN side of the router without having to install anything new. Using our visibility straight from the endpoint and global vantage point inside the Prisma Access Cloud, we can collect telemetry from combination of synthetic monitoring tests and real user monitoring analytics to provide segment-wide insights and comprehensive visibility that we talked about. And ADEM for remote networks provides path and performance visibility with the segment-wise insights, not just users, but all the application used by the devices in every branch. It provides admins with actionable information to isolate the problem and resolve issues faster. This capability can be easily enabled to existing customers through a subscription uh, with just a few clicks, and does not require any additional appliance or VM. Let's talk about the ADEM self-serve, which is the new feature enhancement we have introduced in the ADEM. ADEM self-serve empowers end users to resolve application experience issues that fall into their purview without consulting IT by displaying notification on their endpoints with suggested remediations. ADEM self-serve reduces tickets load and improves the experience of end users by helping them quickly to resolve issues like CPU and memory issues, which are impacting the application experience, Wi-Fi issues, which are causing issues for the poor application performance, and internet issues impacting application experience. And I will go into each of these details, how this is helping. So what are the prerequisites for ADEM self-serve? For the existing ADEM users, there's no dependency. And for the new users who are just start using or want to use ADEM, the GP client version should be above 5.2.11 to establish the connectivity. And the ADEM agent version is 3.2.4. And it supports Windows 10 and macOS Catalina as well. How to enable ADEM self-serve? By default, ADEM self-serve is disabled. As an IT administrator, you can enable this feature. You can log into your ADEM portal, go to the monitor's mobile user dashboard, and you will see there the self-serve this showing as disabled. So you can enable it, slide this button to enable. And underneath, you can select one or more type of notification you want to send to users, which includes CPU, memory, Wi-Fi quality, and internet outages. And you can adjust the thresholds by sliding these on this line, these dots against each notification. You can adjust these thresholds, notification type, and save these changes. And next, you can select the users and the users group for whom you want to roll out this feature. You can enter the mobile users or user group name one at a time, and you can search. And then if it's individual users, it will show up in the users area here, or if it's you're adding the user group, you can see here in the group. It's pretty straightforward. 3 options. First, enable, select your notification types, adjust your thresholds, and add the users. So thresholds for self-serve notifications. So as an IT administrator, you can set thresholds for each type of notifications. Once the user's device Wi-Fi or internet cross that threshold, users will receive that notification on their device. And you can see here the different notification types, their signal strength, their default threshold values, and permitted range for threshold change. Users will receive notifications only when their CPU and memory are functioning above the threshold and Wi-Fi is functioning below the threshold, or even their internet is disconnected. Customers do not get notified when the CPU or memory is working in normal condition and the Wi-Fi status is excellent, good, or even fair for their internet is connected. For the fair, you can adjust the threshold based on your threshold. User will receive the notification. So what will the timeline interval or time interval between the different user notifications? So as I talked previously, ADEM self-serve continuously monitors the end user's device, Wi-Fi, and internet status. The user will receive notification if the CPU, memory, or the Wi-Fi quality crosses the threshold set by the IT administrator. So these notifications gets only once in a 30 minutes of interval. For CPU, memory, and Wi-Fi, these notifications will send only once in a 30 minutes interval. Even if the CPU, or memory, or Wi-Fi continues to cross the thresholds in the immediate 30 minutes following a notification, no additional notifications are sent until 30 minutes have gone by since the last notification was sent. The next time a notification gets sent is when the system crossed threshold again. So for example, a notification gets sent at 10 a.m. because the user's device is consuming 98% of CPU power at the time. For the next 30 minutes, until 10:30, no notification will be sent through the user's device, may continue at 95%, or for that matter, fluctuate between 70% to 95% of CPU, which is below the threshold. So after 30 minutes of notification at 10:30 a.m., if CPU consumption is still above the threshold, ADEM will send another notification. If at 10:30 a.m. the CPU consumption is less than the threshold, no notification will be sent. And for the internet, a notification gets sent when the ADEM detects that the user's internet is down. This notification is sent only once. It does not get sent again, even though the internet outage continues for any period of time. And if the user is offline for more than 24 hours uh, and connected to ADEM and not connected to ADEM for any reason, such as they shut down their devices or change their device, they will not get notification again. You can view the self-serve related metrics for all the users whom you have enabled the notification in the mobile monitored mobile users dashboard. You can click on the self-serve tab, select a time range, and you can view the notification statistics from all the users. For example, in this chart above, you can see here the time range I had selected for 3 hours here. When you hover the mouse over the trend line, a blue dot will appear along with the pop-up displaying the broken down of the statistics at a particular time, the time interval, and you can see here the total issues detected for all users, notification types, total number of devices, and total number of notifications sent to the users. IT administrator, they can view and check if self-service is enabled for our users from a user experience tab on the mobile user dashboard in the ADEM portal. They can monitor self-serve notification for each user's list. The two tabs here, you can see the self-serve notification, if it's enabled or not enabled, and the total number of notifications sent. You can also view the total number of notifications sent to each users in the mobile user dashboard. The total notification column in the table displays the total number of notification which the user has received in the selected time range. And if you hover the mouse over the number of this column, and it will give you a breakdown of type of notification that the users group has received in that time range. And if the total notification column does not display in the table, it is indication that the self-serve feature is not enabled. And for users with multiple devices, notifications will be shown separately for each device on this mobile users list page. Enabling self-serve on endpoint devices. So notifications are enabled by default on Windows, and the default banner notification will see that the pop-up will fly away after 5 seconds. For the Mac users, notifications are not enabled by default. As Mac OS offered end users the ultimate control to enable notifications. So when the admin enables self-serve for the users, notifications and the focus window will automatically pop up for the users to enable notification for Global Protect Autonomous DEM. And users can choose either they don't want none, banner notification will pop up and disappear in 5 seconds, and alert notifications will pop up and it will stay until the users clear it. So if you just want to make sure that for a Windows machine, if self-serve is enabled or not, you can check the application experience widget available in the system tree. Just click on that, it will open up the DEM registry settings for you. And if you can see here, self-serve enable, it should be a 1 showing as 1 here. If it's enabled, if not enabled, it's showing as 0. And for the Mac users, we can on the Spotlight search, you can type Global Protect Autonomous DEM, and it will automatically open up a self-serve UI page, which will let you know that if self-serve is enabled or not enabled for your page. If it's enabled, it will be showing up as some different statistics, device, Wi-Fi, and internet. Let's look into self-serve notification use cases. A user experiencing high CPU will be notified immediately, and it will provide the guidance and some recommendation. If the condition persists, user will notify every 30 minutes. User can learn historical trends in CPU utilization and number of times they were notified of high CPU conditions. So as soon as the users will get notification, once they click on this notification, it will open up a self-serve UI page, which explains about the issue, some historical stats, data, and the recommendations. And this data refresh every 30 seconds if it's open up. Next use case is regarding the high memory utilization notification. Consider a user who has crossed and configured the threshold level of memory utilization. This user will be notified about the memory utilization status and with the guidance how to avoid any potential performance degradation. Next use case is Wi-Fi poor signal strength. Consider a scenario where a user moves in his house during the day and he's sitting at a spot where Wi-Fi signal quality is weak. This user will be immediately notified with a remediation or guidance. The Wi-Fi signal quality assessment allows the user to prevent any potential performance degradation due to Wi-Fi network or weak signal. Consider a situation where a user is accidentally connects to his neighbor's Wi-Fi, which is offering him a poor Wi-Fi signal quality. Users will be immediately notified of a change in the wireless network, which results in poor connectivity. And then users will be provided recommendation to switch the Wi-Fi to the past Wi-Fi network, which offered a better connectivity and experience. It will immediately detect that your Wi-Fi will switch over. And once the user will click on it, it will open up a UI page which explains that ask to switch to the past detected wireless with a good or fair signal quality. And the last one is a Wi-Fi disabled notification. If your internet is down, disabled, it will inform the user that you're not connected to the Wi-Fi and won't be able to access the internet applications. And with this, I'm done with my presentation and I will hand over to our senior product manager, Sarah, who just joined us for the demo. Over to you, Sarah.
Hi guys, Karam, if you can stop sharing your screen, I can share. Awesome. So let's look at what this looks like for an administrator. So this is a view of the ADEM portal while the administrator is configuring ADEM self-serve. You can see here that there are alerting thresholds that are configurable. So the administrator first enables ADEM, and then they can configure these thresholds for the different alerts. And they can either select all users and groups or a custom set of users and groups. Any group that is referenced in a Prisma Access policy will be available here. Okay, so once the admin has configured the set of groups, they click save. And then in the Oh, here we go. We're configuring the thresholds. So now if we look at the mobile user page, there's a new field that shows when self-serve is enabled for a particular user. You can see this new column under monitored mobile users. And then when a particular user is selected, there are a couple of new pieces of information. Yeah, so in all of the time series now, there will be a dot that highlights when a self-serve notification was raised for that user. So you can see here, there was a memory and a CPU notification raised for this user. So you can filter by only those users that have self-serve enabled or disabled. And then you can see a graph of the total number of notifications that were raised for all users or a particular group of users over time. So that is the admin portal. This is what the endpoint agent looks like on macOS. So there's an application experience icon here that sits next to the Global Protect icon, and it contains information about device, Wi-Fi, and internet. You can also see here when notifications were raised. In the case where a notification is raised, if you click on the notification, it will open the same UI. And that UI will contain a recommendation about how best to resolve the problem. These recommendations we try to keep very simple, and the information that's displayed here is minimal. So in this case, the user has disconnected from Wi-Fi. Let's take a look at the agent for Windows. So here's the same agent on a Windows machine. Look at CPU and memory, Wi-Fi performance, and internet connectivity. Now, when an alert is raised, the user clicks on that alert, they're taken to the same UI where there's information about why an alert was raised and how to resolve the issue. Here's another alert for poor Wi-Fi quality. And there's a couple of recommendations down there at the bottom. Awesome. Are there any questions about this feature? I don't see anything